Hello guys, full time at St James's Park. Newcastle 0, Arsenal 2. And I have to say, it's a result and a performance I didn't necessarily see coming. I'm absolutely delighted with it. I think there's a decent case that is Arsenal's best result of the season. To go away from home, to the team in third place in the league, win by 2-0, keep a clean sheet, keep the title race alive in the circumstances without one of their first choice defenders as well, with some big calls made by the manager. I think that takes some beating. It's certainly up there with the win in the North London derby at White Hart Lane for me. You think of the games that really produced a lot of trauma for us last season. I was at St James's Park. That was certainly one. I was at White Hart Lane. That was another. Crystal Palace on the opening day kind of set the tone, didn't it? We'd suffered a really dispiriting defeat at Selhurst Park the previous season, went there on the opening day and won. Went to Spurs in January, I think it was, got the win there. And then to do this at St James's Park at this point in the season, that's tremendous. And who knows if it'll be enough for the title? Probably not. Man City are still the strong favourites, but I think a lot of people, almost myself included, thought this might be the day that Arsenal's challenge ended. It wasn't. It isn't. We go on. Can we go to that last week? I think that last week is going to be absolutely critical. City now have the Real Madrid games in the Champions League, sandwiched between those a tricky-looking trip to Goodison Park. Just ask Arsenal what that can be like. And then that final week, away at Brighton, away at Brentford. You just can't guarantee results in fixtures like that, however good you are. Can Arsenal make City work right up until the line? I hope so. I think so, based on what they produced at St James's Park. Arteta and Ramsdale told Sky after the game, showed the players the section of All or Nothing where they lost at Newcastle last season, showed them the pain on their faces so that they could relive it and it could motivate them ahead of this game. Well, it worked. Arsenal played some good stuff, could have scored more goals, but had to fight as well. And fight they did. I feared for them in those opening minutes because that stadium, wow, it was electric. You could tell on television. I mean, Newcastle have been so up for it, and they can blow your teams away in those opening periods. Just look at what happened to Spurs. Admittedly, that is Spurs. Arsenal had to withstand that, and maybe they rode their luck a little bit. Ball hit the post. Fortunately, one shot came off Kivior's thigh rather than his arm. It was, very, very tight indeed. Fortunately, we got the right decision there. But we came through that. And by half-time, it could have been 2 or 3 goals to the good. Arteta made a big call today. He brought Martinelli back in for Trossard. That wasn't such a big call. I think that was quite an obvious change. Kivior kept his place again. I think that was an obvious change, given our struggles with Rob Holding in that position. But he kept Jorginho in ahead of Thomas Partey. And I think I spoke about this on the Arsenal Extra on Monday. I was looking at the physicality of Newcastle's midfield and thinking it might be a game for Partey. Well, I was looking at it all wrong because Arteta made the calculation that, even with Thomas Partey, I'm not sure that facing Newcastle in a physical battle is the right thing for this Arsenal team. Let's use technique. Let's use intelligence. And he deployed Jorginho, who had a really good game. Sky gave him the man of the match. I think it's a toss-up, really, between him and Odegaard, who's very good. But I think it was the right decision on balance. For starters, he stayed on the pitch the whole 90 minutes. Testament to how important Arteta saw him as being. His use of the ball was very good, but it was more, to me at least, his work off the ball. And I mean that in terms of picking up possession here and there, his positional play, also just the leadership he showed. The way he was communicating with teammates, the way in which he would buy a foul when he needed to, earn his team a bit of breathing space. Listen, I thought he was excellent. And do I still have some nagging regrets about him being a bit underused in previous weeks? Maybe, but Arteta has made the change now and it's come at the right time. Kivior, I thought, had another good game. There were some big moments that we got to talk about. I mean, Odegaard scores a sensational goal. Fantastic strike, takes a chance, goes through a defender's legs. Brilliant. 15 goals this season. He matches Cesc Fabregas's tally from way back when. he was really, really excellent in that first half. Every touch of the ball seemed to go right. Everything he did worked out brilliantly. Alongside him in midfield, I thought Xhaka was very good. Made one outstanding tackle inside his own penalty box to deny, I think it was Joe Linton. But yeah, physically, he was the guy who matched up to Newcastle at times and went into challenges and won 50-50s. You do need someone who's going to do that for you, especially with Partey not playing. I thought Xhaka was that man today. Shout out to Gabriel Martinelli for a brilliant, blistering run for the second goal. The game's over an hour old by then. He'd be forgiven for tiring a bit. He runs fully 60 yards, beats his man, puts the ball into the box. It's an own goal, but if the defender doesn't cut it out, Odegaard's got to tap in at the far post. Really good from Martinelli. He might have scored, though, had a couple of decent chances. Saka had a good chance. And Odegaard himself was denied by Pope. There was a battle of two England goalkeepers today, Pope and Ramsdale. Both played well, you have to say, and that shows you we could have scored more in this game. Ramsdale certainly did his bit. One fantastic save from close range to deny Share. The ball's close to him, but I think the speed of the reaction is what's most impressive, and the strength of the hand to keep it out. Got down well to a shot from Alan St-Maximin, denied Joe Willock in the first half, and rushed out at the feet of Callum Wilson. Another clean sheet on the road for him. He's made some important interventions of late. I was very, very, very proud of this performance. I really was. And I was delighted to see Newcastle lose. I have to say, I thought they got away with a lot today. How Bruno Guimaraes, I think he might have not got a booking on the day. Incredible. Can't believe it. I mean, some of the challenges he put in. I thought there was possibly an elbow on Gabriel Jesus, a very, very heavy challenge there. They were physical and they were nasty, and we still beat them, and that's what you want. That's the sign of maturity we needed from this team. I've seen a few complaints from Newcastle about time wasting. They will fall on deaf ears at Arsenal, I'm afraid, after the game at the Emirates Stadium, where Newcastle ate up the clock a lot, and played for a draw. They got it. Not so today. Very proud of the team. I think a lot of people tuned in to Sky Sports today thinking they were going to see Arsenal turned over, thinking Newcastle again, away from home, the crowd are up for it, Newcastle on a roll, a couple of injuries for Arsenal, they're going to get turned over. And you could hear it a little bit in the tone of the commentary and the pundits. That was the programme that Sky thought they were making today. Well, Arsenal proved them wrong, and as they proved people wrong all season long. I'm very proud of this team. This result, if you compare it to the feelings a year ago, shows how far we've come. Title or no title, this has been a season to be proud of, and I'm glad that in the last week against Chelsea and against Newcastle, we've had a couple of results that we can really savour and enjoy. I mean, that whatever happens between now and the final game, we won't, I think, be left with a kind of a bitter taste in our mouth, because it looks like if Arsenal don't win this league, it will be because Man City have been pretty much perfect in the second half of the season. And if they do it, fair play to them. But we're making them work for it. And there's nobody else in this league doing that. So yeah, very, very pleased. I'll leave it there for now. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe and all those things. And we'll have an Askcast extra for you tomorrow. And yeah, buzzing after that. Brilliant result. Bye-bye, guys.